In this lecture, we will be covering the Show Me panel. Show Me panel is one of the most used features in Tableau and one of the best features. It takes out the guesswork from in creating the charts, and it creates striking visuals for you depending on the dimensions and measures that you select. So let's say we were to select country, state, and sales. What Tableau is going to do is it's going to enable. So currently when we had nothing selected, let's start all over. When we had none of these different measures, dimensions and measures selected, Tableau wasn't recommending anything. But now that we have the state dimension selected, based on just this one dimension, Tableau is recommending these three charts. It is saying that we can either create a table chart out of it, we can create it into a map since it's a geographic, we can create it into a symbol map, and so on. But if we were to select state, we were to select another dimension. So if we were to select a geographic field, a string field, and let's select a measure. So as we had made these selections, you would notice that the number of charts that we're able to create using these fields is getting changed as well. So when we have state and person, Tableau is still recommending to use one of these different charts. But once we had selected sales, a lot more options have become enabled. Now we can create a highlight table, we can create a pie chart, we can create a horizontal bar chart, we can create a stacked bar, we can create a side by side chart, bars chart, we can turn it into a tree map, a circle view, a packed bubble, a box and whisker plot. Not all of these charts would make sense, but since we have selected 2 dimensions and 1 measures, Tableau is enabling the options, is enabling what all Tableau is able to create using these fields. So in order to determine which charts can be created based on the selections you have made, what you can do is you can hover over each of these different charts, and you would notice that over here on the bottom it would tell you what all selections that we need to make in order to enable this kind of chart. So a chart like a text table, you need to select 1 or more dimensions or 1 or more measures. So if we were to select a measure, this chart would be visible. It is showing the sum of sales. If we were to select just a dimension, then you can also create it. So let's go to the bar chart. In order to create a bar chart according to this, we need to have 0 or more dimensions and at least 1 or more measures. So in order to create a bar chart, you need to have at least 1 measure in place. So if we were to select sum of sales, then we are able to create this chart, bar chart. And we can also create a histogram, and we can create a text table. Let's start all over. Let's select sales. We can create the text table, bar chart, and a histogram. So go over each of these different charts that are available and look at what all we need to create these charts. So in order to create an area chart, we need to have at least 1 date, 0 more dimensions, and 1 or more measures. So we need to have at least a date and a measure in order to create the area chart. So let's select a measure and let's select a date. So as you can see, the chart is now available for use. So if you were to click on this, automatically Tableau is going to create the view for you. Let's take out the sales bin and let's take out count of sales. So we only have sales, 1 measure, and 1 date field. So you can create an area chart, you can create a tree map which is showing sales by various state, and it's sizing based on the state, on the sum of sales. We can create a pie chart, we can create entire view, enable marks, and we can bring in the name of the year, and let's bring in sales. So we can quickly modify and select a chart and then modify what all that we have in it. So this is how you use the show me panel in Tableau. One of the most used features and one of the most greatest features in Tableau. The next step is formatting. So as shown in the previous lectures, formatting plays a big part. When Tableau created the chart for you, it did not have the name of the year in the field. It had a legend, but it did not have it in the view. So adding just the year lets the user see the highest, the best selling year without having to go to the legend.